Okay, so today we are just going to do some general navigation around Etsy just so you have an idea of what we're dealing with here. So this is going to be your front page that you're going to pull up every time you go to Etsy.com. Our account information is going to be in this drop down. We can view our profile. We can go to account settings, that kind of thing. Most of our time, though, is going to be spent right here, which is our what's known as our shop manager. On our shop manager, we can search if we have questions on where something is in shop manager. It's normally going to pull up here our dashboard, which is where we can see our stats, whether it be for today, yesterday, that kind of thing, the past month. And then we can go to our active listings, expired, sold out. If we need to update those shouldn't ever be showing us sold out because we are just doing digital downloads. To see our listings, go to this section here of Shop Manager. And right here we have two listings that are currently active. We have one set as a draft. So if you're wondering where your listing is and you haven't published it yet, always go over to the draft section here and you should be able to pull up those ones that haven't been published yet. So this is a draft that we'll talk about later. Going back to the active listings, right now we are doing two types of listings. The first one is going to be one of these where we've got the what's called digital download and just digital art. These are the ones that that our customers are going to be able to download the file and then either take it to a print shop or be able to print it out themselves on their own computers, and they'll be able to download the sizes based on what they need and go from there. So this is this particular listing for the Winter Forest Mountain Cabin painting. Here we have the same painting, but this one is a TV frame art listing, which we'll talk about a little bit later. These are ones where I believe Samsung has a particular type of TV where people can download some of this digital art to show on their TVs, kind of like you see here in the picture, and makes it look like their TV is just a framed piece of art when they're not using it, which is kind of cool. So that's going to be our second type of listing that we're working on early on. And then we've got messages here. If we've got messages from clients that we need to respond to, this is going to be where we will do that. Right now you'll see that we don't have anything currently in our inbox. We are at the very beginning of setting up this shop, so we don't have any orders yet. When we do have orders, this will be where they show up. The only time that we really need to do anything about the orders is if we have changed a listing to made to order. Currently, right now, we are going to be setting up the listings as basically immediate downloads. So we'll be able to see our orders from here, but we shouldn't have to deal with shipping or anything like that because they should be able to do instant downloads unless we set a listing up as made to order. Our stats are going to be right here. This is where we'll be able to see our visits. We can change the time frame to today, yesterday, last 7 days, all the way back to all time. And then if we want to look for a specific order, we can go to custom listing here and pick a specific time frame that we're going to be looking for an order in. Down here, you're going to be able to see people that have favorited our items or followed our shop. If we have any reviews, if we've got repeat buyers, these are just some basic stats that we will be able to use once we start to get some orders coming in. And then again down here, some ideas on how to improve our search for those customers. And then down here we'll be able to see views specific to our listings. And then here we've got our marketing section. And here we can check out our search analytics. So this is going to be where we show up on keywords for SEO traffic. These are the number of impressions that we've received based on different search criteria. So these are the keywords. This is where we currently sit, so this is kind of weird. I don't know what that one is, but apparently we sit on the number 2 position. And then we can look through here and we can find other different keywords that we are pulling up for. And any keywords that we pull up for that gets an impression are going to be on these page numbers. And we should be able to tell how we're converting those, how many visits we've gotten off of those, and how much money we've made on those particular keywords. Moving on, we've got options to add Etsy ads, which will help to bring in more buyers if we want to do that. We can do sales and discounts, which is going to be a way to continue to bring in more. It's going to be a way we continue to bring in more buyers. Generally, when people see a sale going or they get a promo code, they're more likely to buy. We don't make as much revenue off of it, but it increases our stats and brings more visibility to our listings, which will end up bringing in more customers. So it's good to run sales, it's good to run promos, just because we are going to be able to bring in more customers that way. And ultimately, it doesn't, all it does as far as our revenue goes is it just changes the amount of net income that we bring in on each listing. It doesn't cost us any more to run a sale than it does to run something as the list price. Different integrations we can use. We'll want to set up some Pinterest, account, and these are other different kind of things that we can use to keep track of our different bringing people in, as well as things that we can keep track of as far as our bookkeeping, those kind of things. Different ways to integrate into other useful applications. If you ever have questions, you can go to the Etsy Help Center. You can always reach out to me, and we can kind of go from there as needed. And Then settings, you probably won't need to worry about that. If you have questions about settings, just go ahead and reach out to me and we can go from there. And then same thing about finances, don't worry about that. And star seller, this is what we're shooting for, because star sellers are going to be the ones that bring in, or that get listed closer to the top of different keywords. And the higher we are on the searches, the more likely we are to bring in more customers. We can become eligible once we get out to 90 days after we make our first sale. And then we continue to be eligible to be a star seller as long as we are doing well, keeping our ratings up, making sure that we get our orders out on time, etc., etc. So that's what we want to shoot for, is that star seller badge, because that also gives us a lot more visibility and a lot more trust for our clients. And then as far as other settings that we might want to look into, this is going to be where we spend most of our time, again, in the shop manager. And then just a couple other places to look at on the Etsy general page. If we have any notifications, they're going to show up here, and we'll probably want to check that if these ever show up, just to make sure we don't have emails from customers or anything like that. And then you can use this to just kind of search different things on Etsy, just get yourself familiar with the different things that they offer. But again, ultimately, we're going to be spending most of our time here in Shop Manager, because that's going to be how we can run our different listings. All right, that is it for general navigation on Etsy. We'll go ahead and jump on into our next section.